Florida's Turnpike Enterprise welcomes you to the public hearing for the Widen Western Beltway, State Road 429 Project Development and Environment, or PD&E study. This public hearing is for Financial Management Project number 446164-1. A public hearing is being held with multiple opportunities to participate. A virtual hearing is being held on Tuesday, December 6, 2022. Members of the public can participate in this hearing via the GoToWebinar system or using their telephone. An in-person hearing is being held on Wednesday, December 7, 2022 at the Advent Health Nicholson Center. The same information is being presented at both hearing venues. Verbatim transcripts will be made of all oral proceedings. The public hearing video will be posted on the project website, and a link to the video will be provided by email to all persons that registered. If you do not hear the audio, please check your computer speaker settings using the control panel. If you happen to experience technical issues during the meeting, please send an email to tpkmeetingsupport@dot.state.fl.us to report it. Turnpike staff will do their best to assist you. We will follow this agenda starting first with the purpose of this public hearing and how you can provide input. Then we will review the preferred alternative and the environmental impacts associated with it. And finally, we will open the public comment period. The purpose of this public hearing is to share information with the general public about the proposed improvements, its conceptual design, all alternatives under study, and the potential beneficial and adverse social, economic, and environmental impacts upon the community. The public hearing also serves as an official forum, providing an opportunity for the members of the public to express their opinions regarding the project. There have been various opportunities for the public to provide input on this project. An alternatives public meeting in a hybrid format was held earlier this year. The virtual meeting was held on February 23, 2022, and the in-person meeting was held on February 24, 2022. A total of 102 attendees participated in the hybrid alternatives public meeting, and 47 comments were received during the comment period. We continue to encourage public input to help us make this important decision. There are multiple ways to submit comments, including through the project website at www.sr429i-4-2seidel.com. You can mail or email your comments directly to the project manager, Michael Leo. Please send written comments to Florida's Turnpike Enterprise, P.O. Box 613069, Ocoee, Florida 34761, or via email to michael.leo@dot.state.fl.us. This information is also available on the public hearing notification and the project website. During the in-person hearing, you can also submit your comments using the comment forms provided. You can also make verbal comments. Virtual participants that requested to speak when registering will be called upon during the public comment period following this presentation. If you did not register to speak but would like to, you can use the Raise Hand feature located in the GoToWebinar control panel, and you will be called on to speak after those who registered. If attending the in-person hearing at the Advent Health Nicholson Center, please fill out a Request to Speak card. You will be called to the microphone during the verbal comment period at the end of this presentation. If you prefer, there is also a court reporter to whom you can provide your comments directly. Please remember, the formal comment period is not a question and answer session, but an opportunity for you to provide your input on the proposed improvements. Every comment method carries equal weight. While comments will be accepted at any time, those submitted or postmarked by December 21st will become part of the study's public hearing record. We will respond to all comments and questions in writing at a later date. This public hearing was advertised consistent with the federal and state requirements shown on the slide. The proposed project is being developed in accordance with the Civil Rights Act of 1964. Under Title VI of the Civil Rights Act, public participation is solicited without regard to race, color, national origin, age, sex, religion, disability, or family status. Persons wishing to express their concerns about Title VI may do so by contacting either the Florida Department of Transportation, Florida's Turnpike Enterprise Office, or the Tallahassee office of the Florida Department of Transportation. This contact information is also provided on an exhibit for this hearing. The study limits extend from north of Interstate 4, milepost 1, to Seidel Road, milepost 11. The project is located within Osceola and Orange counties. The study scope includes evaluation of alternatives for the widening of Western Beltway from 4 lanes to 8 lanes, the evaluation of improvements to existing interchanges, and the evaluation of a new interchange, which is proposed at Livingston Road. Project needs arise from issues and concerns that may frequently slow down traffic, cause delays, or lead to crashes. The need to widen the Western Beltway is based on enhancing safety, accommodating travel demand through the year 2050, improving travel times and reliability, and enhancing economic viability, emergency responsiveness, and evacuation times. Improvements to Western Beltway are needed to enhance safety. Between 2014 and 2018, there were 210 crashes reported on State Road 429 between the I-4 ramps and the Seidel Road interchange. The number of crashes on State Road 429 increased each year except in 2018. The highest number of crashes were reported near the US 192 and Western Way interchanges. Congestion is a major contributing factor to crashes. If nothing is done, congestion will continue to rise, leading to an increase in crashes. Traffic on State Road 429 within the study limits has increased by more than 10% per year in the recent years. This corridor is one of the fastest growing corridors in Central Florida. This trend can be attributed to the significant increase in population and employment opportunities in the area, as well as the recreational activities surrounding the corridor. During the evening commute, traffic backs up on State Road 429 in the southbound direction towards I-4, and long queues have been observed at the State Road 429 southbound off-ramp to US 192. In order to accommodate future travel demand, 6 lanes are needed by 2030, and 8 lanes will be needed by 2045 for the segment between US 192 and Seidel Road, and by 2050 for the segment between I-4 and US 192. The improvements considered as part of this study include both improvements to the main line and to the interchanges within the project limits. In addition to widening the main line from 4 to 8 lanes, proposed interchange improvements from south to north within the project limits include operational improvements at Sinclair Road, a new interchange at Livingston Road, operational improvements at US 192, and at Western Way, and interchange improvements at Seidel Road. This graphic shows the existing 4-lane typical section, which includes a 64-foot median. The proposed mainline improvement widens the roadway to both sides. The proposed ultimate 8-lane typical section after widening to both sides includes 4 travel lanes in each direction. The edge of the outside travel lane is located approximately 5 feet closer to the existing right-of-way in the proposed condition. Multiple alternatives were evaluated and presented at an alternatives public meeting in February. The major design features of each alternative, along with the cost and potential impacts, are available for review on the project website. The following slides show aerial views of the preferred alternative, with north oriented to the right as shown. The legend shows the difference between any existing and proposed signals shown on the aerial view. This graphic shows where the project begins and the first interchange at Sinclair Road. The Poinciana Parkway Extension Connector PD&E study includes improvements to the I-4 interchange and the Sinclair Road interchange. If the Poinciana Parkway Extension Connector is constructed, Western Beltway widening would interface with that project north of Sand Hill Road. However, If the Poinciana Parkway Extension connector is not constructed, the Western Beltway widening would start further south at the I-4 ramps. The existing Sinclair Road Diamond interchange and the existing signal at the northbound off-ramp would remain. Traffic signals would be added for the northbound on-ramp and southbound on-ramp, as well as turn lanes at all the ramps. The northbound off-ramp will also be modified to a 2-lane ramp. These improvements would allow the interchange to operate more efficiently in the future as traffic increases. A signal is proposed at the Connector Road intersection with the northbound on-ramp. We will take a closer look at this intersection. A signal is added at the ramp terminals intersection with Connector Road, as well as a turn lane in each direction. Northbound through traffic bypasses the proposed signal and maintains free flow conditions. Moving to the intersection of the ramp terminals and Connector Road at Sinclair Road, the existing signal would remain, but turn lanes would be added at 3 of the 4 intersection approaches. Moving west of State Road 429, a new signal would be added at the ramp terminal intersection with Sinclair Road, as well as a right turn lane on Sinclair Road and a left turn lane at the southbound ramp terminal. The next interchange is a new interchange located 2¼ miles north at Livingston Road. This new interchange will improve connectivity, provide additional mobility in the study area, and relieve congestion at the US 192 interchange. The traffic volume on US 192 ramps is anticipated to decrease by 22% with an interchange at Livingston Road. The proposed interchange at Livingston Road adds a new limited access connection as a 4th leg to the existing Livingston Road Formosa Gardens Boulevard intersection. This new connection forms a signalized T intersection with the southbound on and off ramps just west of State Road 429. The northbound on and off ramps would tie directly into Livingston Road just east of State Road 429. The ramps to and from the south would be tolled with the exact location to be determined. This improvement would include widening Formosa Gardens Boulevard for about a half mile to eliminate the short section of 2-lane roadway and match the existing 4-lane condition south and north of Livingston Road. Improvements are proposed to the Livingston Road and Formosa Gardens Boulevard intersection. These improvements include a new signal as well as additional turn and through lanes at every intersection approach. Proposed modifications to the existing US 192 interchange include minor interchange improvements at the off-ramps, the addition of 1 eastbound lane on US 192 from west of the southbound ramp to the northbound ramp terminal intersection, and 1 westbound lane from East Orange Lake Boulevard to west of the southbound ramp terminal intersection. The southbound exit ramp will also be modified to a 2-lane ramp. Bicycle and pedestrian facilities will be added along US 192 from West Orange Lake Boulevard to East Orange Lake Boulevard. We will take a closer look at the intersection improvements associated with the interchange, starting at East Orange Lake Boulevard. On East Orange Lake Boulevard, a new left turn lane would be added at US 192 at the existing signalized intersection, and a new through lane begins on US 192. Moving along US 192 closer to State Road 429, an additional through lane would be added onto US 192 westbound. In addition, turn lanes would be added on US 192 and at the State Road 429 ramp terminal. West of State Road 429, an additional through lane would be added in each direction on US 192, along with additional turn lanes at the State Road 429 ramp terminal. Located 2.2 miles north, Western Way is the next interchange with modifications proposed. The proposed Western Way interchange is shown here. The main improvement at Western Way is the addition of a second lane to the southbound loop ramp as shown. Other improvements include signals at the ramp terminals and additional turn lanes at both intersections. The northbound off-ramp and northbound on-ramp will also be widened to 2 lanes. We will take a closer look at the intersection improvements on Western Way starting at the ramp terminals east of State Road 429. Intersection improvements include a new signal, as well as additional through lanes in each direction on Western Way. Additional turn lanes would be added to each intersection approach as shown. Moving west of State Road 429, a signal would be added at the ramp terminal, as well as an additional left turn lane accessing the State Road 429 southbound on-ramp. The Seidel Road interchange, located 3.2 miles north of Western Way, is an existing interchange with proposed modifications. The preferred alternative includes a second left turn lane approaching Avalon Road and the addition of signals at both ramps to control traffic movements. Other improvements include additional turn lanes at both intersections. No additional right-of-way is required. However, the right-of-way along Seidel Road west of State Road 429 will be converted to limited access right-of-way. We will take a closer look at the intersection improvements on Seidel Road starting at the ramp terminal east of State Road 429. Intersection improvements include a new signal, as well as an additional left turn lane on the northbound off-ramp. Moving west of State Road 429, a signal would be added at the ramp terminal, as well as an additional left turn lane accessing the State Road 429 southbound on-ramp. The preferred alternative modifies the existing pond sites along State Road 429 for the majority of the stormwater treatment for the project. However, 2 new proposed ponds will be needed at the Livingston Road interchange. In summary, the preferred alternative includes widening State Road 429 within the project limits, operational improvements at existing interchanges, and a new interchange at Livingston Road. The preferred alternative also includes 2 access management changes. The first includes a new interchange on State Road 429 at Livingston Road. The interchange will provide full access to State Road 429. The proposed interchange is more than 2 miles from the Sinclair Road interchange and approximately 1.4 miles south of the US 192 interchange. The widening of Formosa Gardens Boulevard will also result in an access management change. The 2-lane roadway will become a 4-lane divided roadway, which will restrict left turns along this segment of Formosa Gardens Boulevard. Currently, there are no driveways along Formosa Gardens Boulevard in this section of roadway. A no-build alternative is also under consideration. The no-build alternative would not make any improvements in the State Road 429 corridor beyond those currently planned. The only planned roadway improvements to this segment of State Road 429 is a project to resurface State Road 429 from I-4 to Seidel Road. The advantages of the no-build alternative include no environmental impacts, no additional right-of-way required, no additional expenditures for design, right-of-way, or construction, no inconveniences to the public during construction, and no impacts to utilities. Disadvantages include increased congestion and safety issues along the main line and at each interchange. State Road 429 will operate below acceptable levels by 2030. Travel times and emergency response times will also increase. The no-build alternative does not satisfy the purpose and need for the project. The preferred alternative was evaluated in detail to analyze potential effects to the social, cultural, natural, and physical environment in accordance with state and federal regulations. These evaluations are documented in the State Environmental Impact Report, or SEIR, which is available for public review. No significant impacts are anticipated as a result of this project. The evaluation matrix summarizes the effects evaluation results of the preferred alternative in comparison to the no-build alternative. The preferred alternative improves future traffic operations and safety, but requires right-of-way, wetland, surface water, floodplain, and conservation easement impacts. The total project cost, including design, right-of-way, mitigation, and construction, is approximately $398 million. The evaluation matrix is available for review on the project website and on display at the in-person meeting location. We estimate that the preferred alternative will require additional right-of-way from 29 parcels impacting approximately 32 acres. The exact location and amount of right-of-way required will be refined during the final design phase. This project will not cause any relocation of families or businesses. All right-of-way acquisition will be conducted in accordance with Florida Statute 339.09 and the Federal Uniform Relocation Assistance and Real Property Acquisition Policies Act of 1970, commonly known as the Uniform Act. We encourage you to call the Turnpike Project Manager if you have any questions regarding the right-of-way acquisition process. A Cultural Resource Assessment Survey was conducted for the PD&E study to identify any cultural resources and assess their eligibility for listing in the National Register of Historic Places. Based on past and current survey efforts, the potential for encountering intact archaeological deposits or significant archaeological sites within the study area is low. No historic resources were identified in the study area during background research or field survey efforts. A Natural Resource Evaluation, or NRE, was prepared for the project to assess potential impacts to wetland systems and federal and state protected species. The assessment identified 32 federally listed species and 25 state-listed species that have the potential to occur in the study area. Of those federally listed species, the project will have no effect on 27 species and may affect, but is not likely to adversely affect, 5 species. No adverse effects are anticipated for the state-listed species. The NRE also documented the wetland evaluation. Wetlands to be impacted by the proposed improvements include mixed forested wetlands and freshwater marshes located at the proposed Livingston Road interchange. The preferred alternative impacts approximately 5.2 acres of wetlands and 6.7 acres of surface waters. Conservation easements are also present within the preferred alternative. There are approximately 1.9 acres of wetland conservation easements impacted by the preferred alternative. Florida's Turnpike Enterprise will mitigate wetland, surface water, and conservation easement impacts resulting from this project to meet state and federal requirements. A location hydraulic report was prepared for the project to identify potential 100-year floodplain encroachments resulting from the proposed improvements. There are 4 floodplains adjacent to the study area. 3 floodplain encroachments are anticipated, resulting in 4 acre-feet of impacts. There is no significant change in flood risk as a result of the proposed improvements, and impacts will be mitigated through stormwater system design. A contamination screening evaluation report was prepared for this project to identify contamination concerns within the study area. The contamination screening identified 23 potential contamination concerns for the roadway improvements and 4 for proposed pond sites. Of those, there are 8 sites ranked as a medium risk. A Level 2 contamination assessment is recommended for those sites. During the design phase, options to further avoid, minimize, or mitigate contamination involvement will be evaluated. A noise study was conducted in accordance with state and federal regulations to evaluate traffic noise levels for the proposed improvements. Several locations were identified as potentially impacted by traffic noise. The feasibility and reasonableness of noise walls were assessed at these locations. Noise wall locations will be re-evaluated during the final design phase. The total project cost for the preferred alternative is approximately $398 million in 2022 present-day cost. Included in this estimated cost are design, right-of-way, mitigation, construction, and other services. We continue to encourage public input to help us make this important decision. You can submit written comments through the project website at www.sr429i-4-2seidel.com. And you can mail or email your comments directly to the project manager, Michael Leo. Please send written comments to Florida's Turnpike Enterprise, P.O. Box 613069, Ocoee, Florida 34761, or via email to michael.leo@dot.state.fl.us. This information is also available on the public hearing notification and the project website. During the in-person hearing, you can also submit your written comments using the comment forms provided. While written comments and questions are accepted at any time, they must be received no later than December 21st, 2022 to become part of the public hearing record. The next step is to incorporate your input on this public hearing into our decision-making process. The comment period will close on December 21st, and your input will be considered, and the preferred alternative will be refined. The final PD&E document will then be provided to the Executive Director of Florida's Turnpike Enterprise for approval. The PD&E study is expected to be complete in February of 2023. This project has and will continue to comply with all applicable state and federal rules and regulations. This concludes our presentation. We now offer you the opportunity to make a statement.